Hello and welcome to the Agatebay photo workshop. I had a couple customers and viewers who asked me about how I take my pictures and just some general things that you should take care of for achieving the best quality of pictures. I have a pretty professional camera setup here, but I also will just tell you what the most basic things are that you need to take care of when taking good quality agate pictures. So here I have a crazy lace agate from Mexico, which we will be using for the tutorial. It's one of the pieces I've been cutting in a YouTube short, I believe, but it's just going to be a quick tutorial so you can learn a little bit how to take your own professional pictures. So this is the camera I'm using. It is a Nikon camera with a pretty good quality objective. We have a really strong tripod at the bottom just so it's stable and not moving around. So a good quality tripod is very helpful, especially when you have a ground that is not completely flat or even. And yeah, with this setup here we can move the camera in and out to get the focus point clearly on the agate. So the technique we're using is called photo stacking. So the camera essentially takes maybe 50 different pictures in always steps just a little bit further away from each other, so they will be all put together in one frame, one image in the end, with a software that we're using, and make the sharpest image possible with these 50 different images that are put together. And that happens with an automatic modus here in the camera. So we will just get it set up here and set the agate here. We're using this kind of material which is like sticky, so we can adjust the agate depending on how we want to put it. We can just adjust the angle on how we want to put it, so that makes it easy for photographing it in an angle that makes it perfectly parallel to the lens. And another important thing is the light sources. So we're using just two basic light sources that we got from Amazon. They're not super strong, but still fairly nice. We can also adjust the color temperature on how we want to have the setting, either with cold light or warm light, but we usually keep it about a daylight temperature and always have the same setting, so the pictures will all be automatically in the same setting. And the light shines in from the sides, because if the light is coming from behind, there will be reflections on the stone. So you have to make sure that the light sources are not somewhere reflecting in the surface of the stone, and that's pretty much all you have to take care about when taking your pictures. Then also having a uniform background, in this case black, is good, but we will also digitally make the background even more black than it is already here, so that is not something we just do with the camera. What's also important is that the surface is 100% clean. So we have window cleaner here, and we take a tissue, a cleaning tissue, so we can clean off the surface here, just to make sure there's no fingerprints or no dust, so there will not be any dirt marks or anything. So now we're just getting Gregor over here. Now getting to work, turning on the camera. The agate itself is standing pretty perfectly in its natural shape, so we don't have to use the sticky thing to make it stand perfectly. Now we are adjusting the camera so it's perfectly in frame. The camera has a touch display, so that's how we put the focus, and we have the presetting where it takes the photo stacking, and that will take a couple seconds now. Then after we photographed the front side, we always take one single picture of the back side, so you can see what the stone looks like from all different sides. And in case that the stone is broken from the back side, we also take a side view angle, just so you get a better feeling for the three-dimensionality of the rock. And we also use our hands as a size reference. So all of the agates are exactly measured when we put them on the website. Now we're using the SD card, put it into the laptop. We're using Photoshop for the photo stacking software. And then the editing is what we're doing in Lightroom. I mean, this is all a very advanced process, and probably more than most of what you guys want to do when you take your pictures, but it just makes it look a little more professional when all the points on the agates are perfectly sharp, and there it is. So there's 12 pictures that were taken with the camera now, and that are now being put together with the Photoshop software. I don't exactly know what's going on here because I'm never doing it myself, but that's why I'm grateful to have my employees who are able to do all of that. And we also have some work protocols which are written down in a very detailed process. So in case you're actually wanting to learn some of this process yourself with the exact same software and setup that we're using, then this may be helpful to get these protocols from me. But I think for the basic photography, it's just important to have no reflections, to have a clean surface on the stone, to have a black background. I think those are the most basic things, and then even a phone camera will be enough for you to take good pictures and post them online. The stacking process is all done, and we export the finished product into Lightroom, where we will be doing the editing for this piece. Yeah, this is the side view picture. And this is the front picture, and we are just always checking that it's perfectly sharp. And from this one picture, then we will also cut out the detailed sections. But first of all, we make the black background. So all of the background will be 100% black, and not with these kind of marks from the cardboard paper that we're using as a black background. The program automatically realizes where the corners of the piece are, and then we can just turn everything of the background, we can just turn black, and this way it will be automatically disappearing. All right, and now we go into the editing, just to make sure that the colors are all perfectly matching with how the stone actually looks in real life, because sometimes the camera over adjusts a little bit, or especially when there's like a sharp white black and white background. Let me just turn on the flashlight, because that's usually how I check on how the colors are fitting. So I just look at the stone and see if it actually matches up fine, and usually the colors seem a little bit washed out, but this one's actually fitting really well the way it is already. But maybe we can just turn the lights down a little bit, because here I can see there's a little more contrast in the white outlines, so that adds just a little bit contrast here in those white outline bands, which are usually just overcompensated by the camera, and they sometimes just almost disappear in the pictures while they're pretty strong in the white colors. Other than that, I think it's already fitting perfectly fine, so I think we can just really leave it the way it is. So sometimes we have to do a lot more adjusting, but this piece surprisingly matches up just perfectly. So we can just leave it the way it is now, and just crop some extra sections, so we have some detailed pictures of the same stone here. So we are just looking for nice areas that will make some great detailed photography. And something that jumps right at me is, for example, this section and the section down here. But we always first take one close-up look, so it's just a little closer than the original picture, and then we start cropping into the more detailed areas to bring out the best details the stone has to offer. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. I think we can leave that. Then maybe one section up top here in this area. Yeah, that's just the typical pseudomorphs you can see in the Crazy Lace, where you see those calcite formations with all the rectangular shapes, and it's really just a beautiful piece. So I think we can also just leave that detail the way it is, and that's probably enough already for the stone. So now we will export it into our Excel sheet for the inventories. So now we're just going to export it into the folder, which we just did here. So these are all of the YouTube stones that we have been cutting lately in some of our videos. And now we just go into the Excel sheet that we have prepared. And this is where we are adding this piece now, so it will be inventorized. Right, now we have it in the system. Now we are going to measure it. So this one's 105, or how much was it? 102 millimeters. So we're just writing in all of the special features that these agates may have, such as parallax, pseudomorphs, platelets, flow channels or something. But pseudomorphs is the only thing I see in this piece. And now it's in the system, saved, and yeah, that's the entire process of getting these agates digitalized, and I hope you learned something from the video. If you have any questions, write it down in the comments, and I'll see you soon again in the next cutting video.